Have to worry for too much longer. They can destroy everything. We are on that fifth and final map. As we see, it's Morning Light getting to start on the defense. Will that give them enough of a leg up to potentially stop the problems they've had over the last few maps? Again, we will have the Omen in play, but this time we do get the Sage back on both sides. And there's an Omen Brim coming in from Mamba mode, so they'll go double smoke. 5 total smokes possible, as well as dual flash with the Phoenix and the Omen. The Jet is in play as well.
We did, taking a lot of control here in towards heaven. There's nobody on B. They went for the full wrap back through market. And this is going to be majorly problematic. mAKKA might have the quick flank, but there's nothing in the front. So how are you going to defend the flank? They're already out, they're down, they're in towards site. They should be able to get this spike down. It's going to be a retake from the get-go, from the word jump. Very strange play, to be quite honest. Miniature will get one, so at least it's evenly traded, but that spike's now down. The retake, no, effective here. Shot up, and Oderus just dropping bodies, finding domes. There's one more. And they hold the line. They hold the line so excellently. So I wasn't a huge fan of the play, but hey, the retake certainly does work out when you fight and find heads like that. We've got the pistol round. That's step number 1. There's a critical second step on the checklist for Morning Light, though. You gotta finally convert one of these subsequent rounds.
Yeah. And you knew right off that spike plant, regardless of what happened, whoever lost was going to force up. So you see that force buy come in from the attacking side of Mamba. You're going to see the shotgun for the Jet. No surprise there. Stingers for 3. A Spectre on zecK. Let's see how it ends up working out. zecK's going back to the Sage after taking a break and playing the Omen. Critical.
Okay.
Hopping across. He's going to go ahead and send that Paranoia out. Oh, this is the worst thing you want to be wandering into. Shotgun's there, and it's right on the money, but there's a Jet around the corner as Wedid went up high with the updraft and gets onto the balcony. Sight's been lost, and it's a numbers game right now. It's 3-on-3. But that advanced positioning coming in from Wedid with the shotgun might be a bit of a problem. Shot ups on a Stinger, decides that at this distance, the Ghost makes a whole lot more sense. Can't blame him for that one. His teammate backing off now as well as the slow orb comes through.
Here.
The Jet has moved back into the site. They spot one towards elbow. There's one back behind Stein. There's the initial peek. Great shooting coming in from Miniature. Wants to get closer. The shotgun not powerful enough. And Oderus there with the rifle as well. Great retake coming in from Morning Light.
I'm just gonna... this worked out for them. 2 of the players didn't invest. 3 of the players invested. This drives me mad, Mark. This drives me mad. If you're going to invest into the next round, invest into the next round. Why? I don't understand the logic on that one. Whatever it is, it does work out for them at the very least. Miniature, one of the players who didn't invest, gets a lot of damage out with the Ghost. Does work. Puts it in. And Morning Light, they have finally converted off of a pistol. They have won. This is now the 3rd pistol they've won in the series out of 4 maps. And this is the first of those pistols where they've won the subsequent second round. So, if you're a Morning Light fan, this bodes extremely well. You're on the favorite side of split. You've won the pistol. You've won the follow-up. Shot Up is trying to get it done with the Stinger now and is succeeding in the first. He's just going to face into this again. He's got support from the rifle, and he's still taking a spike down mid, which is a little ill-advised. He dies, as does Oderus. They did not need to force that issue. There was no real advantage to be gained from securing those sites. It's not like they had any guns that you need to prevent them from picking back up. But they continue to fight it. Now, Miniatures died on the flank. They are really chasing after these kills, Mark. This is really concerning here. Very, very concerning early tendency for Morning Light. I know it's down to a 2v2 at this point, and it's likely going to be converted, but... Whoa, chasing those eco frags is a slippery slope.
Yeah, you never want to see that because it obviously is not something you want to continue to be a problem for them. It's going to be an expensive problem if they continue in that habit. But Morning Light do win the first 3, and this will be that point of contention right now, as you're going to have the operator come out from both sides. And again, the op appears to be somewhat mobile. Here it's going to be Miniature, who's on the op, instead of mAKKA, who's apparently the primary, and ShotUp, who's apparently the secondary, or not ShotUp, excuse me, Oderus, who's the secondary. So we have a primary in mAKKA, secondary in ShotUp, or Oderus again, excuse me, and then the third, the tertiary op, is apparently now Miniature, which is a little bit odd. But I get it, on the B site, you want to have that op as the anchor.
Big exchange of utility early on. It's not really netting any damage, but it is at the very least slowing them down. Oderus gonna back off here, has a glow orb to buy extra time. He's got a player in wires as well, so this is a decent setup. Gonna be making this take in towards heaven. mAKKA gets the first kill. Chase is gonna go through the wall, finds one, but it was to run it back. So as he gets traded, it's basically for free. ShotUp. Decent spot here, pops up, and it's a one-shot pop for ShotUp. On the spot.
They started moving towards ropes, but the realization that they left Spike in heaven results in a double back. There is still one on site. We'll see how well he can hold. It's Contii who's just playing here as the Omen. Needs to just wait for them to get close. Don't go for a peek. I don't love the idea of playing for that peek. mAKKA's going to go down back hall. There's the peek coming up from Contii. Last up behind the line. Has to swing at that point, and unfortunately peeks into a double hold. So it'll be up to the Cypher. Currently coming through heaven with the op. Wedid is holding this one. Miniature trying to just clear out this close position. The dark cover coming through, and there's the shot from Wedid. So the first round on the board for Mamba mode.
Gun here.
As the setup does not work out well for the likes of Morning Light. But they do have the cash to fall back on for the buy with some exception. Excuse me. They're not going to be able to afford that operator in the hands of Miniature. So this time it's going to be Oderus. So it's that traveling op. Who's going to get it? I mean, it seems like it varies depending on the round.
It does, right? Who's the hot hand, I guess? Who's feeling it? Either that or sometimes.
Here.
I will say, when you start to see this for certain teams, it indicates a breakdown of comms, right? People aren't consulting each other before they buy. They're just buying what they can buy. It's like, all right, I'm going to try offing this time. You didn't succeed last time. Oderus, he will get the fix, so whatever the cause, it works early on. Miniature, meanwhile, catches a face full of lead. Down to 69 health. Nice. It's going to be a little bit problematic, but they still got the player advantage. This Chase going to come back into it. Mid, the res comes up. Doesn't get punished. Yes. Chase immediately back down. You're dead. Congratulations, you're back. Congratulations, you're dead again. Man is living Groundhog's Day.
Wedid with the op wanting to take down whoever was playing inside the mailroom. They saw the res, or the ult, excuse me, get popped by the Phoenix, so to run it back, they saw the initial flash of flame, and then the curveball to follow. But they had to back off as they were afraid of what was coming their direction. Oderus sneaking his way into an advanced position in heaven, peering down the stairs, but it looks like they are going to again challenge this A site. The paranoia blinds half the team as they try to go out towards the A site. That was the attack throwing that one out there. Infamous has the ult available. He's dialing it in. And where does he put it? Back corner. 14 seconds left as they start to make their way onto the site. They need to desperately get that site secured so they can get the spike down, and they do. So the spike will be planted, and if anything, they've done it masterfully, as now it's only Oderus alive with just an op towards TVs, and it's another round for Mamba mode, as Oderus has to just back out and try and save the op.
Let him out? I think they are. He's going to be able to escape to have at least that. What's the money looking like? Ooh. Ooh, it is
bad.
Dire, Mark. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Real bad. I mean, we knew it would be. They bought him back-to-back rounds that didn't pan out for them.
One piece of logic here. If they do opt to go around the force buy, mAKKA has the ult up. Now, I think as a jet, when you have your ult up, if you're going for a force buy round, it makes some sense to actually buy a rifle for one of your teammates and play with something like and then just focus on that ult primarily and try and get kills with the throwing knives out. I wonder if we'll see that. I wonder if we're going to see the forced investment. Seems like no. Seems like they're actually going to go for the patient partial buy, which, respect. I like it. A little bit surprised, honestly, to see that coming out from them, but I do like the decision. Once again, though, if you're going to go for a partial buy, well, I suppose at this point they've probably got decent loss bonus. They're probably going to be getting the money, but you got to imagine maybe a little bit heavy of an investment here from Contii. Maybe a little bit heavy investment from Miniature. Still, they should be able to get a buy up in the next.
Oh, look at this, waiting right around the corner. Hi! There's a lot of firepower waiting to greet them. And there's the ult popped as well. You can hear the Blade Storm popped by the Jet. Nice shot from Wedid, trying to send one through the smoke as well. Won't quite hit the target. MAKKA is right on the other side of this one with a shotgun, and... well, at least there's that. So, a little bit of extra damage coming in from the shotgun. Miniature is close. And actually... will spot Wedid through the edge of the cyber cage. Great work there to bring things to a manageable point. It's a 2-on-2. There's a flash coming in, and there's not much that can be done there. Oderus loses the op. That's a huge problem. As now it's Miniature stuck at the bottom of ropes. He's only got a pistol, but there is an op down in heaven that he can pick up and try and fight his way back into the round.
Not that now. Did they take the fight with him? Go up on the other side. Not their opper. Gonna be the rifles. He's got to get out from the dark cover, and they're just playing it very cautiously. There's no need to go for this peek. They're thinking about it. There's just no need. There's gonna be the audio view. Don't know if they were close enough to hear that. There's the sidearm, and at this point, with the flash is coming out in the skate. No, thought he jumped around the corner, but actually just jumped out to the open, and that's a death. That is a big death. We're on the 3-3 and already showing 3 at this point on split. Not a bad line. We're going to have another investment here for Morning Light, but you've got to start worrying that you're just giving up too much on these proper gun rounds, on these buys. That was a forced buy. That was a very lackluster buy. But Mamba mode, considering this was the first time they've actually lost the pistol and lost the conversion, this is a really nice early half score.
I mean, they've managed to put up a few rounds here on the attacking side of the most defensive-heavy map. And plenty of rounds to play out. We'll see if Morning Light can put up a better hold on their defense after surrendering a few of these rounds away. Big problem has been mid-control. I feel like they've given it up just a little bit too easily. And Mamba mode has punished because of that. Getting control of ropes, taking advantage of that when it comes to the backstab towards that A site. There's the run it back, ult pop. The wall comes in as well from the Sage. Bullets pouring out through the smokes as they attempt to take onto that site, but it's not going to work out so well for them. Shot up as well, getting around the corner. Flash coming in. Flame wall is present. It's an interesting setup right now with zecK also chiming in, taking down Miniature. 3 ults available currently for Morning Light. They have the res, so they can pick Miniature back up. Critical is going to try and port into a better position, and oh no. Not prepared for that peek from Critical. He goes past the tripwire, and now he's on 11 HP, but he's got sight control. MAKKA is going to take out zecK at least, but Critical is now sitting on the rope. Do they hit this shot? No, he's going to fall back down. Spike's going to be planted in a moment as they gathered up sight control. But no, they're actually going to push all the way through. They're going to run to the A site. MAKKA hears this one. Is going to try and lay down some spam. They're going to be very close to not getting this spike planted. It's a quick sprint to the site, but they'll just barely get it down. Had he been able to delay that, he would have stopped it. But unfortunately,
literally, if he
couldn't delay it enough.
If he gets the aim punch on that first player as opposed to the second on the Phoenix, that's the difference between the round being won and lost. This is tremendous now. They cut the flank. Contii completely misread, gets the TP in. And that's going to be a big kill to find for Contii on the flank. Now a 2v2. mAKKALOFF doesn't have the right idea, but now he's figured it out. It's not good, but look in the wrong direction. MAKKA doesn't clear left. That would have been everything. Contii just going to go for the cover and go for the defuse. Hope that they don't have the lineup. Here's where we might see the pings coming back through. He's got it halfway up. No, you needed that. Has the first, but goes to the axe to get back into the dark cover. And Chase will catch him as a result. A 4th round from Mamba mode, and they have taken the lead here on the attacking side. And not only that, the economy is once again in the trash can for Morning Light.
Mamba mode. I mean, they just look great right now. And Morning Light, they just can't seem to get it together. At times, the rounds start out so promising and then just turn around quickly. Miniature's going to use an aggressive cam to make sure there's not anyone waiting for him should he peek around the corner. They are. They'll send a dart down, but the cam gets taken out immediately. They do have the Blade Storm, they've got the res, and they've got the Neural Theft on the defense. Omen Port available as well for the attack.
Smoke's down.
The round lead currently for Mamba mode, but just by 1. But it is a bit of a broken buy coming out from the defense. Buying what they can afford without spending too much. You can see how it affects them. Stinger, Sheriff, a Judge, a Ghost, and another Sheriff as well. Light armor on 3, heavy armor for Contii. But the buy on the opposite side is exactly what you want it to be. It's an ideal buy. The perfect buy, one might even say. So how do they stop this?
Having control again seems to be the object of their affection. They're going to move right in, and B has been completely abandoned. Seems we're back to that almost retake setup. This time there's a late lurk from Critical, but actually going back into the garage. Shot up decides not to complete that flank. Now they've taken the site, they've realized no one's here. They're going to wall off back towards spawn. They're going to be able to get the spike plant, no problem. They'll watch garage, but it's walled off by the Phoenix. He won't go down. Oh, shot up ticks the noise. It gives an audio cue as he moved through, and as a result, he does die. He likely would have been dead regardless, but
Get out of my way.
he's certainly dead now. Oderus does get a kill. Oderus now has a weapon. Dude, Wedid's trying to launch some shots. Meanwhile, they're retaking ground as the ultimate mAKKALOFF gets denied. The bodies are continuing to drop, but Contii makes some noise out of this. He's at the very least going to make this messy, but as he falls down to earth, quite literally, he is joined by many bullets.
It's not a bad round, really.
Dire.
Like, when you look at that round, though, they didn't really bring that much to the table. So the fact that they got it to that point is at least promising. But again, this is the most defensive-heavy map in the rotation. It's 65-35 at best when it comes to the round split. 65 obviously being the defense. So you've already gone past that point. Right now, it's a little bit of a problem, and it's likely going to be at least one more round coming in. You're looking at a 50-50 round split right now in the first half, more than likely, even if Morning Light can somehow turn things around. The margin for error, pretty low right now for Morning Light, as they've surrendered one too many rounds away to Mamba mode. Here comes the push towards the A site. You've got the Omen, excuse me, up in heaven, sending the Paranoia out, but with the run it back to lead the charge, he's just going to eat that damage, making his way onto the site. The site's been lost yet again. It's going to be a spike plant coming in. It's going to be a 5-on-5 retake. The defense does have the res and the Neural Theft still. Contii will be the first to make contact. Wedid with a great shot coming out as the Jet has the operator ready. Another as a follow-up through the edge of the wall. mAKKA's going to pick off Chase. Wedid trying to get away, does escape around the corner. The mAKKA's going to contend with the Jet, and as he goes for some cover, the Cloudburst not going to provide it. Miniature gets a few leg shots onto Critical, but the round is starting to just become impossible to win. So you can see they've decided to back off from this one. The Sage also going on the hunt as zecK is looking for them. He'll go ahead and pick up his tripwires. But at this point, you got to be using this time as a bit of a timeout to talk things over, because they are desperately in need of finding a solution. This A site, porous.
No. Oh, even one of the guns taken away right at the wrong moment. Right at the last possible moment. So that's not going to see its way through. They're going to have an investment here, but it's going to take everything that they've got. You can see Contii's even on light armor. You got to imagine there's some sacrifices being made towards utility. Perhaps not, but still, it's not ideal. We're running out of opportunities, though, for them to win rounds. So at this point, I understand the just, going for it. You got plenty of money to get the rifles up at the least. You have to win rounds.
Smoke's down.
At this point, you're splitting the half even. If you run back the remaining 3. There are just so few opportunities here. And look, it's been a pretty basic strategy default. A lot of rounds, Mamba mode, they take heaven. Then once they have Heaven, either they try and actually take in towards the B bomb site if they find lack of resistance, or they bail out and rotate. It works pretty effectively for them. This time is the tempo breaker. Just going in towards the garage.
Cage triggered.
Here's going to be the peak from Miniature. Straight up. There's Cage up, rather. They're just firing shots back the other way, but they haven't committed to this at all. In the meantime, now they've gained ground. They found the player on wires. That's mAKKA down. Shot up has to be committed to this fight. They've got Oderus here as well, but one's already transitioned. Nice play from Shot up. Focus the player in, assuming the fight against Oderus. Now they get 2 as a result of it. This is a good hold. Putting heavy emphasis on Heaven, recognizing that that is the primary objective early round for Mamba mode, and punishing it is huge. Question is, can Contii hold the second line? They've already gone past him. They think they cleared up the position. There's one running deep. Now the Jets coming in with the knives, and the knives, they connect. Wedid coming up with a big kill to secure the spike plant, get it in towards site, and now set them up nicely in the post plant, and Wedid's going to be able to hold this line with the operator. The Sage is barreling down wires. Are they bailing out of this? Or is that just the upgrade? That's the res coming back in. So now they're bringing 4 to the party. They've got a full reservation. And that's a big kill to find for Shot. They might just be able to barrel back over this lip. On we go, burning ults left, right, and center, but this is a round they cannot afford to lose. So now the push comes in. They might just stick on this defuse. They dealt with the player out at L-Bend. I think they could just get this down. Infamous all the way back in Heaven. He'll find the first. The second as well. Can get the peek back over. He's now with the Angels right now. He's soon to join them. Oderus has it. The defuse on, and Morning Light will find a 4th round that they could not afford to lose.
Almost won that 1v1 fight against Oderus. Dropped him down to 11 HP. I like the play, the position there, just watching for the run it back ult to end. It's still not a super fantastic round. Given the way that things started, you're like, okay, yeah, this is what we like to see. Morning Light, they're going to stop the spike from getting planted. Nope, never mind. There's Wedid coming in huge with the ult. Comes down to a post plant and a 1-on-2. And almost a 1-on-1. The spike would have still been diffused at that point. It wouldn't have mattered, as he had already had it too far gone, and it wasn't planted for Heaven whatsoever. But Morning Light find a round. At this point, they don't care how they win them. They just want to win them to try to close this half out 6-6. We're going to have the Sage currently in the mail room. And the first package is delivered. It's an op shot into the belly of Chase through the wall. The res is available, and we'll probably see it in just a moment. It's just the Sage trying to get across to make sure it's safe. zecK is here, and there you go. I like the combo there with the ult, too. Using the orbital strike to guarantee that they weren't going to try to push down.
That is a great combination. Just effective coordination between the 2 ults, knowing that you have cover, knowing that there's no way the operator is going to force into that fight, and that if they do, you're almost certainly going to be able to punish them, and it'll be a worthwhile exchange regardless. The position for mAKKA could be huge. There's a player just up on the other side. Duel out. Oh, very risky. Right, there's going to be the peak. Hits the first. The paranoia effective, but it's only 1 and done. No trade available. Contii and Miniature, though. Just pack up the bodies. Contii gets dealt with the site proper, but they still have to contend with Miniature up in Heaven. And Miniature is making a veritable nuisance of himself. That spike's down. They have to go back and recover it, and by they, I mean Chase. Well, he's chasing after the clutch here. The only player surviving 13 seconds as well. Might want to do some more damage to them. Get a ult to facilitate that. No time. That was a little bit of a weird decision to burn the ult on that particular round. Could have kept it as a pocket for this final one, but at least he did find 1 extra kill.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as well. It was a weird time to go ahead and pop the run it back.
Can't win it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go for that and they're both there, that's the best case scenario. And then you kill one and they just peek and kill you as you spawn back. So it was like one of those, like, panic ult. See what happens. Now, interestingly enough, Chase has bought light armor. There you go. The money didn't update initially, so he does end up buying down to 0. Critical is going to be on a Guardian, and went for that initial fight, going to port past this one. But it's Oderus to get things started again in mid, and it's the takedown onto Wedid, which is a big problem, because Wedid's op has been really good for Mamba mode, and even that ult has also been fantastic for the Jet. It's a big piece for them to lose on their attack.
been one of their big players at bringing back situations where they're down as well. So this now a little bit troubling. They're going to fall back into this A hit. It's been working for them. It's been kind of the bread and butter take of late. They started out with consistent takes in heaven in towards B, but then when the reinforcements came in towards heaven, they said, you know what? A's better this time of year, and they've really been making their home here. Seems like they're lining up Brim smokes, I'd have to imagine, for where they want to get the spike down. Nice flash, but Contii has it. Not the first. The ult's going to come in from mAKKA as well. He's just tossing out smokes to provide a little bit of cover, making sure that they're going to have this heaven space clear. That spike's likely going down, but they'll have the massive advantage on the retake. 5 alive in the retake in this final round. At this point, they don't care about the spike money because it's almost all over. So, shrouded step. That was a little bit odd. Good trade, though. Effectively done, and now the bodies are dropping. It's all on to Infamous. He doesn't have the Odin, but he's got to get it done here, and it'll be the knife instead to find him. Defuse on 6-6. So Morning Light, they needed all 3 of those final rounds, and they do, in fact, find them. But it's still an even scoreline headed into the second half of Split, a map that we typically expect to be so solidly defensive-sided that we look at 3 or 4 rounds as perfectly acceptable.
I think we might have scoreboard again in the second half, and we do. Thank the good Lord as we move into the final second half. We won't have any more second halves. This is the last time we'd have to deal with this problem. It was a decent bounce back from Morning Light. That Shrouded Step, by the way, was just to bait him out, making him think that he had ported across. The nature of Shrouded Step is you can hear where it's casted from, but you can't hear where you end up. So that's why a player like Kriya, for instance, is so good, because they'll hear it, but they don't necessarily react, and he times it really well. So he'll use it in conjunction with something that pours out onto the site, and like a flash. Like as soon as the flash hits, he ports, so you don't necessarily hear that skill, and he's able to get behind you, because typically you hear that pop and you're ready to look back. The flash was going to come out here, but it doesn't end up mattering. It's a back-and-forth volley in mid that results in coming down to 1. And it will be Contii going down. As much as they look good the last few rounds, it's a full-blown brawl in mid. All 5 players converge, and the Arby of Mamba mode will come out on top of that exchange.
I really think you're seeing... I think my biggest concern here for Morning Light is that I think you might have a little bit of a breakdown in communication. Because in that instance, you saw Shot Up goes to flash, right? He's getting ready to flash out. They would have had 4 flash players, most likely. Would have been much easier to make that fight work. But then his teammate, I believe it was mAKKA, just jumps out. Which he can't flash if his player's right there. He's going to blind him. So he puts the flash away, and in that moment, there's the swing, there's the massacre. This round, between the Ares and the Marshall, it's looking very rough and deep. Oh, that was a crispy shot from Wedid on the last. Makes it look good as he dashes away. And it is another conversion off of the fist round, as Mamba have not been having Morning Light's problems converting early games. They are going to have it, and Wedid's even going to toss away the Marshall and upgrade to the Operator, because why not? They're going to have a great cushion. Some limitations in the SMG, the Bulldog, and the Ares in this round, but as we know from Infamous, a large machine gun is no problem for him. Aggressive play, it gets caught. Aces 1, a second as well. mAKKA down for the count. Big problems here early on in this first gun run for Morning Light. They are getting pulverized, just annihilated. And we're going to be able to catch miniature to make it even worse. 2 players remaining at this point. If they can scrape a spike plan, I think they'll be happy. Contii gets 1, but instantly traded. Maybe, just maybe, a full mad dash onto the site would allow time for a spike, but this 2 players watching at least 1. And here's going to be the swing. Here's the trade. Oderus tries to tap away, but it's not to be. 9-6 is the scoreline, a 3-round lead at this point.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. I hate saying that word, but the reality is it perfectly applies in this scenario. Morning Light, they came through as victors in the upper bracket finals. They beat this team in 3 maps. And now we find ourselves here, where they're 3 rounds down and their money is not good. So again, we'll see probably an easy round come in for Mamba Mode. Wedid, though, does miss the shot. A little bit of a whiff as he goes for the dash back. The tailwind doesn't work out, but the shot through the cyber cage, that's going to work out nicely. Just times it well. As it will be a man advantage here for Mamba Mode. Morning Light loses their Cypher. The wall is down in mid, but it's starting to crack as time takes over. The spike moving into B main. And a dark cover being prepped here by Contii as they're getting ready to go for this push towards the B site. And the fear is now the Phoenix has arrived on site. The Sage and the Omen are both in heaven. There's a lot of presence here currently from Mamba Mode.
Nice flank. Couple of kills coming in. Chase gets 2 big frags, and that might just be enough to deny the spike. They're trying to provide cover just to recover it. Shot up's lost in the corner now. Contii, there is no safe haven to go to, and they're just going to teleport right into his face, and it works. It works for Critical. Oh, man. The tactical crouch coming in right on the chin, as that was just an insulting way to lose. Yes, you just have a ghost, but come on. This is going from bad to worse for Morning Light. Their light is distinctly fading. They have not won a round yet in this half. They're going to have an investment here, but this is where they have to win it. They have to win here, Mark, or I think it might just be lights out for them. We've got the Odin back out. We've got the double operator as well. This is the comfort buy if you're Mamba Mode. This is everything you possibly want, and you've got enough money that you likely have a buy, if not more, in the tank past this.
Dark cover going down. There's the flash coming through as well. I think Contii, who's taken out of the equation. mAKKA. A nice response here for Morning Light. We'll put them back at a 4-on-4. The red's not available for either team, so both players going to have to watch for the remainder of the round unless the Sage can find an ult orb that could unlock that resurrection capability. The Sage does currently have the spike, and you can see him moving over towards B. It's possible that he's close, and if he is, yeah, he's 2 away, so we'd have to find a kill and the orb. It was Miniature, though, over on the A site, taking out Chase, zecK, and Infamous both chime in with their own. And now it's down to 2, both in B main. zecK's backing off of Heaven. They've managed to sneak their way onto the site as a result. And they'll go ahead and secure the site plant. They do have to worry about the orbital strike in the post plant, though. Going to be a big problem for them.
No charges left.
There's a spot. I know the player's back far. Just relatively. Tried to go to the hot hands. That's not available. There's the orb coming back in. A little bit of slow just to make life a little bit more difficult. Actually, a second slow as well. Hellfire raining down from the skies. But they weren't crouched in that particular spot. Now the take back through. They're actually both in the same angle. A wall to give cover. Oderus is dealt with early on. From on high, he gets terminated. The second player there, Wedid, has it. That's an 11th round now for Mamba Mode Gaming. An 11th round. The money with the spike plant might just be good enough to justify a buy here, but it's going to be bare bones, if that, Mark. And they're fighting to keep Mamba Mode off of map point. This is
seeming like the writing's on the wall at this point, Mike. Like, it seems like the last couple of maps have just been all Mamba Mode. I mean, obviously that's the case with the way they've been able to win them, but like Morning Light just has been a non-factor, almost an absent presence on the last couple of maps.
I gotta say, I'm so impressed by Chase here on Split. He was not a quieter presence necessarily. I mean, still solid, but just wasn't one of the players that we were looking to as a star. We were focusing on Wedid, who is having a phenomenal game. But Chase, putting up the numbers, 20 and 15. Shotup's going to go for the run it back. They've been holding very light in. They get the teleport on towards Heaven. So they've got the Omen control. Should be able to take it. And it's going to be up to Contii to do the damage. Finds the ult of the opposing Phoenix, but it's not going to work out consistently. Wedid coming back in with the ult bodies, dropping every which way. Down to an even exchange here. A little bit of an advantage, and actually one player up for Morning Light. Now the Rays comes through, critical, big shot, but can't get the follow-up. Tries to be a bit too hasty into it. This wraparound, though. zecK coming all the way around the pillar. He changes course, heads back, and in doing so gets caught by Oderus. They're not out of this yet, Mark. The force, the full buy, it works. They've got a 7th. They need 4 more to hit the tie. Can they do it here on the attacking side of Split, especially considering the fact that their opponents are going to be coming right back into the swing of things with all the guns they could possibly want?
That's the nature of losing that many rounds in a row. The money is just incredibly stable. That said, they have done a little bit of economic damage. See how things look here. Again, Oderus, he's got that off, but the problem is he has the spike. So probably not going to feel too comfortable peeking in mid right now. Doesn't want to drop that spike. Also, you don't want to lose the Sage this early in the round, especially when the Sage has the res available. Infamous drops the smoke, and he's got that oh-so-pesky Odin we've seen him use time and time again. Critical's pushed up aggressively on A ramp. There's 2 targets starting to work towards there. The Cypher was moving up. The Phoenix also present. They're looking for him after the ult was popped. They're trying to find him. They're checking spawn. They're checking sewers. They're checking back behind them. They can't seem to locate him. It's because he's just pushed up into a normal spot, currently sitting over on A long.
This is a really casual use of the Oderus, but it does delay it all the time, which is nice, and now they don't read it, so you know what? It works. 1 kill, worth it. Miniature's now down, now you've got the advantage. And this time they're actually playing with a player in towards the B-bomb site, which has spike site, which has been a very different circumstance. They've almost always been playing with full presence in heaven, playing a retake on the site itself. They mean this player to be here, and they're not at all. They overlook it. Oderus gets caught looking on high, and he will be dropped. zecK gets a follow-up kill, but the trade is there on zecK. So there is some silver lining. Maka gets some altitude that was desperately needed. They're still at a disadvantage as the spike going down. The paranoia makes things uncomfortable. Maka has to hit this first and is not quite getting the safety up top. There's a nice peek, though. Taking a little bit of space back. Maka, the ult working. Has 3 kills, looking for the 4th. Just 1 more player to deal with, and it's the Odin. We've seen Infamous clutch a 1v2 before. Can he do it again? He's looking for it. He's got the first. Annihilating through the corner. Maka just playing his patient, just going to play off the spike as he absolutely should. He's going to come to tap, and as soon as he does, here's the swing, but he misses! Mark, he misses! That's map and series tournament point claim from Mamba Mode, gaming off of another clutch from the Odin in the hands of Infamous. What can't this man do with a large gun in hand?
How annoyed are you right now? I mean, Maka did everything he possibly could, and then in a 1v1 with his ult against a target that isn't even looking, is sticking the spike, doesn't get the fatal blow, and the Odin comes out, and it is just the rapid fire of the machine gun. I mean, you can hear some spam emotes coming out right now from Mamba Mode as they are feeling it currently. 12 rounds on the board. Infamous, he sees that smoke and he's just going to spam it if he can. Wedid right on the other side. Knows they could have pushed past with that cyber cage. This molly goes down, so it cuts the push in half. That means the Cypher's up there all alone. Infamous also using the combat stim to increase the rate of fire on the LMG. That is so incredibly ridiculous. We've seen it actually work out quite well for him. Here comes the push up ramp, maybe. There's the move, though, from Maka. He gets dinked mid-air, dropped down very low, but survives. The shotgun ending up providing the success he needed. He's going to be moving around to the back end of the play. They try to escape, and the Jet does get away. Over in the screens is this Jet. Nice shot coming out from Wedid. Swaps away to the rifle. And now it's a 3-on-3. The Sage moving back towards the screens as well. As the res is available, they're going to pick one up. Taste chimes in with the Odin. The run it back popped here by the Phoenix to get the intel. They're going to start moving out onto the site. Shot up is present with the pistol. It's all on Contii. First one's going to be his. A follow-up coming in from Contii, but that is it. Mamba Mode have brought it back after losing the first map, and they end up taking things 3-2 here in a full tilt, full series best of 5.
What an incredible series from Mamba Mode Gaming. What an incredible run. Only fitting that it ends